Hey guys, welcome to the part 2 of the story of Viola. The other part was too long, we could not continue, so I hope you enjoy. So Viola, how are you today?
I'm good.
Uh-huh.
And thank you for inviting me again to come and still share my part 2 of my story.
Oh, welcome. So we were there when your mother-in-law had given you the picture. She had told you some things. Maybe you can remind us a little bit and tell us how it went down.
Yeah. So by this time, I remember my mother-in-law told me to count, and I did count, and I told her, and I told her all her kids were, I don't remember quite, between 8 or 9, but they were somewhere there. And then she asked me, do you see an extra person? Yes, I said, maybe you and your husband. And then she asked me, any other extra person? I said no. So she told me, like, in a Kikuyu way, like,
you can tell us the exact words and translate maybe.
She told me in a Kikuyu way, like, nie diarita siana isi dewiki na didakoro na mudo akudeithia. So in short, onani direda murigo. Like, I have raised all my 9 kids alone, and I don't see whether you see any house girl in there between. So I don't want anybody.
Oh.
Yeah. In short, I don't want anybody between me and the maid and the husband.
So in short, you are the burden.
So in short, now I'm the burden, because now you see, I have the kid and I have the house girl. So I have to make a choice and to choose between the house girl or between me. Now I should raise my kids all alone.
So what was your decision?
Now at that moment, I didn't speak anything. I just kept quiet. Yes.
And did you go like talk with your husband, or how you felt about what your mother-in-law had said?
So this time, luckily, my husband happened to come while we were still talking, having that discussion. It was a family discussion, and my mother-in-law asked me to go and call him. So, like kawaida too, he was drunk. So I went and I told him his mom wants to talk to him, talk to him, yeah. And he came. So he didn't know what was happening, but now he got in, sat down, and he was just there seated next to the door. And so when he sat, now the mother started the story again. She started asking the same question, like, what did you tell this girl? Now luckily I never said anything to the girl. For him, he said what he had told the girl and everything. And he was asked why he never gave the girl the salary. And he was like, oh, bado sijapata pesa, sijui biashara si mzuri. Biashara si mzuri, unakuja ulikuwa mlevi. So now between them, they started an argument.
Yeah, and you were there.
And I'm there, and the house girl and the brother. So unaona ni mlevi. Sasa yeye, he was like, hautaniambia vile nitalea nyumba yangu. And me here, na sasa mimi nyamaza juu sijui what to say.
Because you can't be against your husband
or
against the mother.
So I was just like, so now the guy was like, mi hata hii story hata sijui mnaniambia nini. And akaondoka. Yeah, akaamka.
So akawacha nyinyi wote hapo mmekaa.
So the brother akaamka kutry kumdefend, arudi kwa kiti, akamsukuma, akamrudi kutoka kwa njia yangu. So he left. So when he left, akasema yata ataki hizo makesi. Sasa unaona the discussion ikawa discussed. So kila mtu kwa like imeisha hivyo.
And the house girl, was she paid afterwards? What happened? Did she leave?
No, she was never paid.
God.
And now when the guy, the baby daddy said, nijisort, alivaa viatu na akaenda nje akatoka. Sana kurudi kwa nyumba. He went and that was it. So kila mtu akajipatia shughuli, sisi tukarudi kwa nyumba tukakaa sana kufikiria what next. So mimi nikafikiria maybe ni ile baby ataenda haru. He never came.
Wow.
Hey.
How long did he go?
He went like about 4 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you So you were just there, the kids, the mother-in-law. Did the mother-in-law try calling him, or did you try calling him?
No, I never tried to call him. And the mother-in-law also, nobody cared. So now already pamekuwa na pamekuwa na gap. So no one is talking to the other. And now we had to survive on our own. And after 2 days, now the mother decided to go to the up country in Ushago. So she went there and akatuacha. So we alituacha, I think after 3 days, the jamaa alikuja. And when he came, he said, nimefikiria na nikaona it's better wewe urudi kwenyu.
Now you have the 2 kids.
Yeah. Wewe urudi kwenyu na mimi nihame hapa kwa mali. Nitafute hao nijipange. So nikishajipanga nitakuambia ukuje.
So it was like you going separate ways. The same thing as your mom and your dad.
Yeah. So now this time I had to. Now before he came, because he came and then he later went, and then now he could come and go.
And did you mind asking him where he was going at this time?
No,
because you didn't ask. No. Why did you ask?
I didn't have that courage
to face him.
Yeah. Not to face him, like to ask.
So when did you decide like this is it? I'm not continuing with this marriage. Like I'm going home, or the moment like he said like let's part ways, you come walk when?
So after 1 month, after noticing the things are not
working out,
they're not working out like before, and now we are here. I'm struggling to raise the kid, and also to get some. To do some business here and there, and I started selling the mandazi here hapo nje, and luckily tungekula zinaenda zile zinabaki inakuwa ndio lunch yetu sapa hivyo. And so one day my mother-in-law akatokusha akakuja akapata ninatumia hizo sufuria zake, because of course mimi sikuwa hizo sufuria kubwa hizi za mandazi and all that. And she bought 2 mandazi kwangu, and baada hapo I think alipigia sasa kijana wake ndiye akakuja that evening. So when he came that evening ndiye alikuja na hiyo suggestion like I should go back home.
The big brother, not your husband.
No, the husband now. Akamwambia like I should go home. Then ajisort tafute hao. After that akishajipanga ndio
you get back together. How was it that for you at that time, like living, and you have been here for how long?
I had stayed with him for 5 years.
Oh, that's a while. So you went back to your mom's place, or?
Now this time it was tough because I'm going back home
with 2 kids.
And also the house dad. Because there was no way this girl was going to go without her servant. So I had to go back.
So the salary was for how many months?
I guess it was about 4 months. Yeah, 3 to 4 months.
Yes. So you went, the 4 of you?
Yeah, we went 4 of us. And so when I went home, because she understood and she saw everything, she was okay with staying with me until I could get her money.
The money.
And then we parted ways. But
Also,
my mom happened to help me, and she chipped in, and yeah, we got to pay the girl, and she went back home. Yeah.
And how did it come about? Then you decided to go to Gulf to go and hustle.
Okay. After a long period of now, when I separated from my husband,
Which is?
I can't remember the year, but now it was like a series of kidogo nikaa tena huku home kidogo, you know, the welcoming inakuwa mzuri, tena huku nako kunaanza stress, unaona bado yeye ni single mama, and niko na watoto wawili hapa, so bado nilikuwa
Big.
and later naenda narudi hivyo. So in between hapo Maria happened to pass.
What?
Yeah. So
It was tough for you again.
Yeah.
You are here, single mom. Your mom is not there.
And this guy is passing. So I was not in peace. Yeah. And for him, alikuwa nataka nirudi, but mimi sikuwa nataka kurudi. I had already now made up my mind
And moved on.
I moved on. So I was watching nikaeni raise watoto wangu, and that's what I did. It was not easy. So what really helped me nilibidi nitoke Nairobi nikakuja Machakos, because sasa Nairobi I used to shift jobs. Akijua mali niko yani kama alikuwa anani hunt, nikienda job nastukia yuko nyuma yangu.
Anakuja kufanya nini? What exactly would he come to do at your office?
He could do dramas.
Yeah.
Ataleta tu drama hapo mpaka yani akosesha amani. So
then unaachishwa kazi. So you moved to Machakos.
So now I decided I happened while I was still working in Nairobi at Boroboro by then, one of salon. Then I happened to meet one of the clients, and then she was like, kuna rafiki yangu anafungua salon Machakos, and anataka watu wako experienced wanaweza toka huku waende Machakos. So for me, akaniambia nimtafutie wasichana wa kazi. Unajua kazi kama nini? Alafu atakuja nimpatie simu wa connect waongee. I remember it was 31st December huko. Yeah, I remember it was 31st December. And after vile aliniambia nikamwambia namtafutia wasichana. So mimi kuangalia naona sina peace. I really want to move on. And I cannot move on when this guy is still around, because
looking for you.
Ananifuata tu. So nikaamua kwenye nitaenda niondoke at once. So what I did, niliona mimi ni shift kwanza. So mimi nikapigia ule mdosi mwenye alikuwa na hiyo deal, nikaongea naye and tukapanga, since tulikuwa tunarukisha mwaka, akaniambia by 3rd January tenda Machakos. So January 3rd nikamka, I prepared myself
with the kids, or you went
no
alone?
My kids, no, I went alone because now my kids.
Where did you leave the kids?
With my sisters.
Oh, in Nairobi.
Yeah, in Nairobi.
Feeding for your siblings, for your kids. How was it? Or your dad was providing at that time?
No, you see now, like, yeah, he was providing, but later you see now for those 10 years, he later happened to get another wife, another life,
and other kids,
another family. So now when my mom died, and after everything and the burial and everything, we stayed for him like almost 2 months, and then he went back to the other family. So this time he would provide, but not that much. He would provide because again my grandfather gave us a place to stay. So having a shelter was not a problem, but the only problem we had was food. Yeah. So that was the main challenge.
So you like went for hustle so that you can provide the food for your siblings.
Yeah. So now,
and your kids also.
Yeah. So now this time I had now to go and
hustle.
I used to work as a hairdresser. Yeah, I used to work as a hairdresser, and also one of my sister happened to roll in hairdressing, but I was the main. So I decided now let me settle nikae na masista zangu. Sasa tole jamani kwa sasa alitaka kuprovide akuje home anatupatia pesa and hivyo anaona watu hii kiacha pesa sasa inakuwa ni mimi na sisters na masista zangu yani tunajisupport hapo. So after many years naye pia kawa ni tunakimbizana ananitafuta hapa kazi. So I was not in peace, and for him alikuwa nataka nirudi, but mimi sikuwa nataka kurudi. I had already now made up my mind and moved on. So I was watching nikaeni raise watoto wangu, and that's what I did. It was not easy. So what really helped me nibidi nitoke Nairobi nikakuja Machakos. Because sasa Nairobi I used to shift jobs. Akijua mali niko yani kama alikuwa anani hunt nikienda job nastukia yuko nyuma yangu.
Anakuja kufanya nini? What exactly would he come to do at your office?
He could do for him alikuwa nataka nirudi, but mimi sikuwa nataka kurudi. I had already now made up my mind
and moved on.
So I was watching nikaeni raise watoto wangu, and that's what I did. It was not easy. So what really helped me nibidi nitoke Nairobi nikakuja Machakos. Because sasa Nairobi I used to shift jobs. Akijua mali niko yani kama alikuwa anani hunt nikienda job nastukia yuko nyuma yangu.
Anakuja kufanya nini? What exactly would he come to do at your office?
He could do dramas. Ataleta tu drama hapo mpaka yani ukoseshe amani. So
then unaachishwa kazi. So you moved to Machakos.
So now I decided now I happened while I was still working in Nairobi at Boroboro by then, one of salon. Then I happened to meet one of the clients, and then she was like, kuna rafiki yangu anafungua salon Machakos, and anataka watu wako experienced wanaweza toka huku waende Machakos. So for me akaniambia nimtafutie wasichana wa kazi. Unajua kazi kama nini? Alafu atakuja nimpatie simu wa connect waongee. I remember it was 31st December huko. Yeah, I remember it was 31st huko. And after vile aliniambia nikamwambia namtafutia wasichana. So mimi kuangalia naona sina peace. I really want to move on. And I cannot move on when this guy is still around because
looking for you.
Ananifuata tu. So nikaamua kwenye nitaenda niondoke at once. So what I did, niliona mimi ni shift kwanza. So mimi nikapigia ule mdosi mwenye alikuwa na hiyo deal. Nikaongea naye and tukapanga since tulikuwa tunarukisha mwaka, akaniambia by 3rd January tenda Machakos. So January 3rd I prepared myself
with the kids, or you went
alone?
alone?
My kids, no, I went alone because now my kids.
Where did you leave the kids?
With my sisters.
Oh, in Nairobi.
Yeah, in Nairobi. So I left my kids with my sisters. I proceed to for him. and this guy is still around because
Looking for you.
yeah, ananifuata tu. So nikaamua kwenye nitaenda niondoke at
You
once.
want to-
So what I did, niliona mi ni shift kwanza. So mi nikapigia ule mdosi mwenye alikuwa na hiyo deal. Nikaongea naye and tukapanga, since tulikuwa tunarukisha mwaka, akaniambia by 3rd January tenda Machakos. So January 3rd nikamka, I prepared myself.
With the kids? Or you went
No,
alone?
my kids, no, I went alone because now my kids
Where did you leave the kids?
with my sisters.
Oh, in Nairobi.
Yeah, in Nairobi. So I left my kids with my sisters. I proceed kwanza Machakos. Niende nione and then Nairobi. Yeah, we went there for a day and then we came back in the evening. So I saw the place. Kafanya nikaona how the salon, how it was. And so we talked, and then I asked her about the accommodation. She said, yeah, it's good. She's going to do the accommodation meanwhile. Yeah, and the salary and all that. And so after a week later, I shift to Machakos.
So you worked in Machakos for how long?
I believe Machakos, I went there, it was 20, I think it was 2 or 3. Yeah, 2 or 3 up to 2013.
Oh, that's like 10 years.
Yeah, still in Machakos. But in between that, in Machakos, now I added another kid.
Oh, another
A different
dad.
person. Yeah. So this time, now I had already moved and shifted in Machakos, and the pay was good. I was able to take my kids from Nairobi, shifted them to Machakos. I enrolled them to school. And then we started life there. So things happened too.
So this one was the second marriage, or
I wouldn't say it was like a second. Okay, for me, I wanted it to be like a second marriage, but it never went that far.
What happened?
What really happened is that, I was ready.
To be your wife.
Yeah, because I believe I'm a home keeper, and yeah, so I was trying. I really wanted this now, the second marriage to last, but it didn't last. I think I was aggressive. I was too aggressive, and also the
You
guy
wanted a sense of belonging.
Yeah, me wanted a sense of belonging, but the guy was distant. I think he was not ready at the moment. So things happened so fast, and later I came to find out again I'm pregnant, and there he is. He's gone.
So you stayed with your kids in Machakos.
Yeah. So now, since I had decided now I want to settle and stay in Machakos, I decided not to go back home, but I would go for visits, and then I would come back in Machakos. So this time now, my kids are already grown, and now bring another big man in the picture, and my kids happen to know him because it was not a secret. I like doing open. Yeah, he also got to know my family, and for me he would every time we plan, like I want to meet your family, bring some excuse, things like that. So when I told him like I'm pregnant, now that's when things are getting turned haywire. Yeah. Now they started finding the small issues, small issues where we could find any sort of misunderstanding. Yeah, it happened. Like now, I was not the one who was moving out. He was the one who was moving out. Every time we could have some misunderstanding. take his clothes
and go.
So I would go and look for him over his friend's places
And beg him to come
and
back.
beg him to come. So I went on for a moment like that, and then I reached one point like I sat myself down because it was also draining me. It was draining me like
And you have the
mentally,
kids.
physically,
Yeah,
everything.
I understand.
Job-wise, everything was not working. So I sat down myself. I also reached to a point now when I was standing. Yeah, it happened. Like now, I was not the one who was moving out. He was the one who was moving out. Every time we would have some misunderstanding. He would take his clothes
And go.
So I would go and look for him over his friend's places
And beg him to come
and
back.
beg him to come. So I went on for a moment like that, and then I reached one point like I sat myself down because it was also draining me. It was draining me like
And you have the
mentally,
kids.
physically,
Yeah,
everything.
I understand.
Job-wise, everything was not working. So I sat down myself. I also reached to a point now when I was during that pregnancy. I thought of doing abortion. I also thought of killing myself because now I felt like I'm a reject.
Yeah,
See?
I understand. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and that also depression, like sort of. And so things were not working. Business-wise was not working. I went through so many challenges in that season of whereby we could lack now. We could lack food.
Oh, with the
Yeah,
kids.
yeah, and I'm working. Yeah, I reached to that point of where I could lack food. We could locked out of the house. Yeah, we could locked out of the house. Again, I could locked out of the where I'm working, my business premises. So it was hard. It was hard for me. And this time, nobody knew what I was going through, not even my family members. Because at one point, I felt like I'm the black sheep in the family. So, and you know when you have kids and you don't have anything, people tend to see you like a burden. So nobody, don't expect anyone to help you, you see. So I never had that shoulder to carry on, to lean on. So most I would find only me and my kids. So this went on for a while until now. One day I decided I want to give up.
So how did it come about? You came to God. What was this time the time that you were in Machakos, or something happened that triggered you to come back to God?
Well, now let me take you back while I was in Machakos. First, I had never envisioned.
Okay, what triggered you to come to God when you were going through these things in Machakos? Like, what happened and you can feel like I must go to God?
Okay, let me take you back before what made me to come to God. While I was still in Machakos, now things started not to work on my favor. And business-wise, and so many things, yeah. I could not concentrate. Now, by this time now, I had already delivered my third born. And also, getting a maid was a problem. And also, my business-wise was also a problem. I could not make any target. And if I happened to get, like that day, if I happened to work and have money, I think it was not enough because the responsibility and the expenses, were too high and so many. So I could go, I could work, and I could also find at the same time I'm working, and at the same time we are sleeping hungry. Yeah, I decided to close my salon, and I got employed to one of my neighbor. He had a salon there, and I did like for a month. It was also hectic because now you see the baby is small, it's very small. I have to wake up early. It was like 3 months. Yeah, and 3 months. Yeah. So by this time, and also now my firstborn, now she was in high school, and I could at times she could not. I was unable to pay the school fees, so she was in school in and out. At times she could not even. I could not even afford the bus fare. She could walk some kilometers because the school was not far away from where we were staying, but she could walk. So it was so stressful for me. So I went through hell at that time, and now this the second baby that now my mom passed away. Now this girl.
Oh, this story seems to be very interesting and inspiring. At the same time, it is emotional because this time she's leaving the kids. So I think you should continue because I'm getting a little bit emotional. Tell me, so how was it you leaving your kids and coming to Gulf at that time? Like, what happened? You were leaving the kids now.
This time I think I'll be a little bit emotional because it was not easy.
I know.
It was not now easy for me to leave the kids, and the process went very fast, and now it was time for me to leave. So when that day came, and I prepared myself. These the first one and the second one, now they were psychologically fitted, but now the small one, my last born, was not. He was still young, so he could not understand what was going on. Yeah, he could not understand what was going on, and so this time I prepared myself. And you see, when he was still young, he never knew any of my sisters. It was between me and his siblings. So now it was the deep day for me to leave, and it was very emotional for me because I remember when I started now my journey to go to town. I was with my sister, now our last born, and now my youngest kid, Wesley. And you know, he used to cry a lot because he had that attachment with me. And so I was hiding. I was hiding from him so that he would not notice if I'm leaving or I am away. So while we were seated at the bus, I made sure that they were in the front seat and I was at the back seat. So by bad luck, I was the one alighting first. So I was about now to light from outside. Now, while I was seated at my seat before, I started now to imagine now I'm going to leave my kids. I don't know after 2 years whether I'm going to see them or not, things like that. So nikaenda kwa ofisi and we met with the agent, tukaongea, and he gave us the documents and we started the process to go ahead. And at around 5 in the evening, that's when we were taking off.
Your flight?
Yeah, taking flight. Yes.
And you landed in Gulf?
Finally, I landed in Gulf after 9 hours. Yeah, I landed after 9 hours. Now by this time, I had now the excitement of
going the other side.
coming now from a new environment,
Meeting new people.
meeting new people. I didn't know anything that was happening. I was just excited, you see. And I also, I felt now like I'm seeing different people. Like I was not all alone. We were too many of us. So I saw a reason for me to move on, because I was not the only one who was coming to Ghana country. And when we were out 3 a.m. in the morning, and we went to the hostel, and we stayed there that until midday, and then my sponsors, the one that they were supposed to take me, they came with my family, with their family, and they took me.
Wow. I think that was a very, very nice, inspiring. I enjoyed, by the way, listening to you, and I am looking forward you telling us your story about your life in Gulf. How was it? How did you cope up? Your kids and all that.
Thank
It
you.
was very nice listening to you.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to do this again.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Thank you for also having time, and I'm also looking forward to share another exciting story, my journey. It's a part of a long series, and I'm so thankful for giving me this opportunity to come and share my story, and also to inspire somebody there out, and to give them hope that there's still tomorrow. Yes.
That's all for today. Yeah. I hope you'll tune in for next time. Make sure you subscribe and you like, and we shall meet again. Thank you.